Now, this one is the tiniest photo I have ever seen at an antique store. And I was honestly going to put this one away because of how small it was, but then I turned it around and realized this one had a name. And once you put a name to it, you get attached to it, as so I've been told. So, I decided to take Miss Edna home, and I kind of did a deep dive on this one in particular. So not only did I draw Miss Edna, but I also decided to try to figure out Miss Edna's story. Now, that was actually much, much harder than I could ever imagine. Unfortunately, I never found out Miss Edna, which was a little sad. I was hoping that I could find something at least. But I do know that Miss Edna did take her photo at the Stanson Photography Studio in Springfield, Ohio. And even when I try to look up Springfield, Ohio, look up that photography place in particular, very, very little popped up except for the photos that they took. I did find an ad for this place, and eventually I ended up stumbling across I guess like a blog of some sort of like women photographers in history. And it kind of explained that kind of like the story of that company together, or like all together. So I guess it was the grandfather was a photographer. The dad and the mom were both photographers, and they started the business in Ohio, and eventually, I want to say like all three of their daughters also became photographers. One took over their spot in Urbana, helped run the other one in Springfield, and then another one moved to New Jersey and had their own photography place as well. So that is really, really cool to me. But I found out a lot more about the history of the photography business than I ever found out about Miss Edna. But it was still really cool to learn. I didn't really see anything else, but just from the photo alone, Miss Edna seemed very classy, dignified. She wasn't too frilly, considering the time period. I'm guessing this is probably like in the 1910s, if I'm gonna take a guess. But I'm guessing Miss Edna was probably in her early 30s, and she almost looked like, I don't know, maybe like a school teacher or something of that nature. But yeah, I really like this. She just looks like she's got that little like burst of like ornery energy going on. And I just really wanted to do this tiny little picture a little bit more justice for Miss Edna. I highly doubt Miss Edna is still alive, but if anybody knows who on earth this little picture belonged to and to begin with, please let me know. I would love to learn more. But if you guys want to see more of kind of like me deep diving on these types of, photos, find their origins, let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Stay creative. Bye.